Hello, my name is Kenzie Mohammed, and this is my government final project. We'll start with Unit 1. A representative government is a system of laws in which people elect delegates to make laws and conduct government. So, here's a list of Enlightenment thinkers and what their basic ideas were. And we're going to talk in a minute about how their ideas affected our government. So, a couple of examples. John Locke believed that men are born equal and given rights that cannot be denied. Montesquieu believed that separation of power limits corruption in government. So why do their ideas matter? It's because the colony's beliefs in a representative government inspired the need to declare independence, and it also inspired a lot of what's in the Constitution. So, for example, John Locke popularized the idea that governments were given power by people and not by God, so people have the ability to take the power away too. Montesquieu believed in separation of powers, remember? So now we have checks and balances. All their ideas are present in our official documents in the way that our government does stuff. Why does this affect you and me today? It's because we live under this law. We live under these ideas that they brought to the table. For example, the reason that our Constitution starts with "we the people" is because of John Locke's ideas. The reason that we're not living under a tyranny because a president has 100% of the power is because of Montesquieu's ideas of separation of power. Moving on to Unit 2, the two-party system and the third party. A two-party system is a system where two major parties compete for power. But the third party is the smaller parties that are also important, and we'll talk about why they're important. But they bring their own ideologies. There are different kinds of third parties, like single issue parties, and splinter parties. So, to understand why the two-party system matters, we have to understand the history. We started with two parties called the Federalists and the Democratic Republicans, and then due to the Civil War and different ideological changes in the American government, we had a lot of splinter parties. But at the end, the power rested in two major parties, the Republicans and the Democrats. So why does this matter? Why does it matter that we have a third party? It's because the third parties have influence over the outcome of an election. They promote new ideas that a major party might adopt, and they can also take away votes from a major party. So why does that impact me and you today? It's because when we vote, we can register with a political party. So it's very important to be educated about these parties. It's also important to be educated about the third party because they sometimes have really good ideas that you might agree with, and they often struggle financially, and sometimes they don't make it to the ballot at all. So it's your voice that matters that will get them on that ballot, and that will get them the financial support that they need. Presidential leadership and electing the president. So these are some formal and informal requirements of a president. The informal requirements are always changing. We have had a few exceptions to these informal requirements, such as we've had a black president and we've had a president that hasn't worked for a government before. And then these are some steps that a candidate needs to take in order to become a president. And let's just stress, for sake of time, the Electoral College. And the electoral college meets, and a winner is declared if a candidate receives 270 votes. So remember, voting is not, or electing a president is not based on the popular vote, it's based on the electoral vote. So why does this matter? Some people don't agree with the electoral system, for example, so it's important to be educated to see where you stand. Is it unfair that a candidate can win even if they lose the popular vote? Or do you think that the Electoral College fulfills what the founders' goals were because it balances the interests of different regions and prevents large states from taking over? So what is the way that we elect the president? How does that impact me and you today? So when everyone turns 18 and we're voting, we have to be educated on what an effective president looks like, and also if our votes matter and how they matter. So the informal requirements of a president are changing every day, and our voices are doing that. When you vote, you are deciding which president gets into office. And if you don't agree with the electoral system, for example, your voice can also change that, but you have to vote to make your voice heard. That's all. Thank you very much for listening.